Merry meet and welcome everyone. Welcome to the AstroTarot show. My name is Serona Rose and I am your host. You may remember me from the Cauldron radio station there. I used to do the astrology there. Come over here and we can do it on video. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So please support the channel if you like this, so we can keep on going. This is a free channel and we try to make this information available to a wide variety of people. So without further ado, let's talk about some astrology. We have a lot of stuff going on. Our world is chaotic. There's different, there's the whole world right now is in the middle of protest for some kind of reason. And it is in touch with or connected to the Taurus energy that we're feeling from Uranus right now. And although we are in the middle of August already, can you believe that? I cannot believe that. And we're still feeling this conjunction between Uranus, Mars, and the North Node. Now, I don't think this is all doom and gloom because of the fact that, there's certain developments that happen during the time that Uranus is in Taurus. And that's a really good thing. So with that, like I said in our last show, the last time that Taurus was entertaining Uranus was in the early, I think it was 1934 it began. But remember I said that was about the time that frozen food started coming on the market. So it was a very big step with food production in the United States. But I will say that as I look at August with that energy, that's bringing us into this month, and it's about making us look forward and look at the bigger picture. We need to really look at where we're going. August is the month of great change, great life changes for us. And you are ready to change. There's a lot of us that are ready to change. We just get so caught up in our everyday lives. We get happy and comfortable, and we're just, for a second, we're just like, let's catch our breath. And of course, while that is a good thing, we can catch our breath, we have to know that energy is constantly changing and shifting, and that's what we should do as well. Stagnation is not a good thing. We have to understand that we create our lives off of our beliefs. And, many don't realize that. And when I talk to people, when I talk to the people that I read to and the different people such as that I pass and whatnot, when they start talking to me about things, I can really see how what they were taught as a child, what was normal at that time, had come into their lives and as a belief. So in saying that, we can change that. And this energy is about changing our beliefs. And it's been about that. It's been about changing some ideals that we were programmed to think. You really have to think about this, that the day that we are born, we are programmed to be a certain way. Our families are a certain way. The society that, the people, our environment that we grow up in is a certain way. So we are all being, programmed to that energy. And the best thing is, to me, I think it is that for when you do get 18 and you get ready to step out there, to go travel in the world. you should try to do that, because then you can gain a better perspective. When you stay in one small spot, especially if it's a small town, your views and your knowledge can be limited. It can be quite limited. So it's good to get out and to experience other people and how they live, to see and grow. This is also helps us with growing as a human. It helps us into, growing our roots deeper into the earth, and to better know who we are and where we stand. So, yeah, this month we're opening up, we're asking questions, and we're seeing that there is something more. It's like, wait a minute, there's something more. So it's definitely a month of soul growth, especially through belief systems. Now, like I said, that conjunction is not all doom and gloom. It's not all bad. And for us, I don't know if you've been checking it out. Have y'all checked out the James Webb Telescope? That's awesome. I mean, these beautiful pictures that they're being able to get are just absolutely remarkable. It's just beautiful. So our nodes, while they are important because they are connected to faith and karma, just like Saturn is. And Saturn right now is in Aquarius. So, Saturn is that push that we need in order for us to go forward. And our North Node tells us that we have to follow our true north. So, before I get into all of that, I do want to talk about the chaos that we're seeing in our world. And I know that you hear, oh, we're at the beginning of the age of Aquarius, and this is supposed to be one of enlightenment. So what is happening? Well, this is very typical when we are changing ages, because we're going into one state of consciousness to another. And if you don't understand what that is, you won't understand this process. So, start at the ground level. Start, learning about what is consciousness, what is subconsciousness. And in doing that, we are ending the Piscean age. The Piscean age is one of, we are all one. We are all in this cosmic goo. We're together here. We have one thought. We have one God. That's why they refer to one of the symbols for Jesus as the fish, the two fish, because that's for Pisces. And this is the one God. This is conformity. This is, you have to think like me. You have to be like me. This way is the only way. If you go any other way, it's wrong. And in our world right now, it's kind of odd, because there's some people that if you disagree with them, they can't even take it. They don't even understand how to communicate in a way, in an adult way. That emotional security, emotional maturity, I should say, is not there. But you see, that's that Piscean energy, and it's that to the extreme, but Pisces is the culmination of all of the signs that go before it. So again, it is, we are all one, we are all the same, there's one God, there's one focus. So you can see how when we step out of this security of us all being connected, and oh, I have you right here, I'm holding your hands, and when we step out into the world, into Aquarius, where that's totally different. That is stepping out into the unknown. You can see how that can cause chaos, because people, humans can be lazy. They don't like change, and that is very hard for them. So we can see this playing out in our world. And, Aquarius is supposed to be the age of enlightenment. And, when many people think that Aquarius is a water sign, and it's not, because its symbol is the water bearer. But what he's doing, or she, depending on the picture you're looking at nowadays, this person is pouring knowledge onto the world. When we think about water, water is a conduit, you know, it's wonderful. It is a energy transference. And when it's pouring, and right now it's pouring on the earth, that's why we are finding out a lot of these things that were completely lost in time. And we have to realize that our earth runs in cycles. It has different cycles that it goes through, it changes. It is a living being. It's not just a rock floating around in space somewhere. And, you know, it's really saddening that some people really think that astrology has absolutely nothing to do with us, because our ancients looked at astrology for many things. They believed that these were messages from the gods to them. They watched the aspects. They watched where they were in the sky. They watched out for meteorites. You know, right now we're in the dog days of summer, and that comes from the Egyptians because of the placements of our planets. And, you know, so forth. There's so much there. So do know that these energies are happening, and they're happening whether we're conscious of it or not. So they're very important. You know, there's a lot of things that has been covered up in our past, and that's one thing that's happening now, is the unveiling of a history that has been lost to us. You have to think, as soon as that Holy Roman Empire was gaining their control, and that's what it was about. It wasn't about the people. It was about controlling the masses. So they were doing that. I mean, they obliterated people that were different from them. They, you know, if you had a different belief than them, of course, they obliterated if you were of the old ways. So yeah, you know, you have to look back at those things. And, you know, scholarly teaching in their schools and stuff, you know, honestly, all of those books need to be rewritten. There's been too much stuff that has been unveiled regarding our ancestors and the abilities they had. They were a lot smarter than we give them credit for. And our Earth's history is so important, because just as there's part of our history being removed now, the Holy Roman Empire did that as well. They burned down the mystery schools, the libraries, all of those places that held knowledge that was not in their agenda or a part of their plan. All of that, they got rid of that. That was not beneficial for them at all. So yeah, they had to really, you know, they had to really put their nails into it and put the society in that control. Our ancestors were not just sitting around in a cave somewhere banging stones together. Our planet has had so far 3 of the deluges that they say, 3 of them. And each time there is knowledge that was lost. And it's kind of, alerts me now, because there's a lot of stuff that we keep online. There's a lot of stuff that we keep, you know, all on these electronic devices and whatnot. And, you know, what if that's gone tomorrow? So we have to think about that. Now, I know I talked about our North Node being in the conjunction with Uranus and Mars in the sign of Taurus. Well, the South Node is in Scorpio. And this Scorpio energy is about, it's like the society's shadow that's being exposed. And when you're living in the fight or flight consciousness, You're not going to make the correct decisions. You're living in stress. You are living in straight stress. So the food that you eat is not going to benefit you in the way that it needs to benefit you. Your cortisol levels are really, really high. So basically your body is just, it's wigging out. It's stressing itself out. That cuts our immune system, and it causes a lot of problems. And we have to really be careful, because we have to bring ourselves back. We are in a world of polarity, and one, an extreme in one is just as bad as an extreme in the other. So we have to find that harmony. We have to find that middle ground, that nice place that vibrates. And one way of doing that is grounding. Grounding is so important, especially with the next months coming up in astrology. It's going to be a few good months there. So yeah, ground. Go outside every day and get with the earth for 30 minutes. Sit on it, lay on it, go for a walk. It will help you. It will help you. The rubber soles and stuff like that is not good. You need connection. You need connection to the earth's energies. And, there's a scientific thing there that explains all that. You can look it up. It's called earthing. Go check it out. It will tell you how important that is. And our ancients were very connected to the earth. They were very connected. So, technically speaking, if you really want to look at it and the knowledge they knew and what the wisdom that they carried about our earth, we are primitive, especially in the West, where Scorpio, which, the eagle represents Scorpio, there's always been this ongoing fight between the eagle and the serpent, or the eagle and the dragon. I don't know if y'all have heard of that, but yeah, this is touching on that. So, there's just a lot of things. Remember, we're in a polarity, but we have to be able to stay in that middle, to harmonize. Now, let's talk about our moon really quick. This reading is for August the 17th through August the 24th. The moon is going to start out in Taurus, and that's going to be a quiet day. There's a couple aspects, but it's relatively quiet. On the 18th, the moon is going to conjunct Uranus, the North Node, and Mars. And then on the 19th, the moon will move into Gemini. The 21st, it will be, which is Sunday, will be moving into Cancer. And by the 24th, she'll be moving into Leo at 9:09 a.m. and that is Eastern Time. Now, we also have some planetary movement going on. On the 20th, Mars will be moving into Gemini, which is an air sign. So he's coming out of the earth and going into the air. On the 22nd, the sun will move into Virgo, which is going to really change the energy from the Leo kind of shining your light. Now we get to Virgo, and how are we going to make this work for the world and for service to the world? So then we have on the 24th, Uranus will be stationing and going retrograde at 9:54 a.m. Eastern Time, and he will be retrograde until January the 24th of 2023. Yes, he's an outer planet, so it does take him a while. Now, our retrograde planets right now, we have several of them. We have Jupiter and Saturn, and it goes direct on October the 21st. So we've got roughly another month with Saturn retrograde. Then we have Neptune that's retrograde. Pluto is retrograde. And of course, by the 24th, Uranus will be joining them. So That's 6 planets that's going to be going retrograde. Also, Chiron, he's retrograde in Aries, and Chiron is very important in our chart. He is our wounded healer, and being in Aries, he is saying that, you need to work on healing yourself. As we heal ourselves, we are able to heal others. So, retrograde, they have us going back over the path that we once came. Think about if you're going down the road and all of a sudden you stop and you realize, oh my goodness, I dropped my my iPod pack. I dropped something back on the path on my way here. So you're having to go back on the same track that you come up on to find what you have lost. There's something here you need to see. You missed something along the way. So it was either something hidden or maybe you just wasn't paying attention, but it's something that you have missed that's very important. And that's what retrogrades do. They take us back over that path to let us re-examine those degrees. And Uranus, now with him specifically, he brings up something we need to shift. Okay, he wants us to raise our consciousness. He connects us to the cosmic intelligence. It's bringing us up to see the full picture. So this is awakening. He wants us to say, you know what, I know that you're down here, but if you come up a little bit, you're going to be able to see this just a little clearer. You're going to be able to see the bigger picture here of what's going on, and you're going to be able to make better decisions based on knowing the fuller impact of what exactly is happening. So that's, Uranus is the liberator. He wants to liberate you from the change that you are in. Be them self-inflicted or not, Uranus wants to bring you out of that. And many times in this instant, with Uranus, it's about the chains maybe from an outer source that you accept as yours, if that makes sense to you. So he's that lightning strike that just makes us move. And he will venture back to 14 degrees of Taurus in his retrograde. Now the Sabian symbol for 14 degrees is very important. I read the 18 degrees last week, and I'll remind you if you don't remember that, but 14 degrees of Taurus says, go and stir the waters. When we stir the waters, it brings up debris, right? It also mixes things together and to maybe cohesion. If you're mixing sugar or salt into a liquid, it absorbs into the liquid, and it changes the taste, it changes the chemical makeup of what you're doing, of what you're preparing. And this also, when you're stirring it up, it brings up the stuff on the bottom, right? All that stuff on the bottom gets churned to the top. So when he goes back direct at 18 degrees, that will be a woman airing out an old bag through a sunny window to give it air and sunshine. So again, that's talking about more unveiling, more stuff we're finding out, more secrets that are coming into the spotlight. We can find more of the fighting back, more of the propaganda of being misled, of, oh no, it's not that, wink, wink, nod, nod. So we can expect that to change. So you have to follow, again, your true calling. We're seeing a lot of people that, that have really changed their lives. When we were all locked down, and we were not, most of us were not working, and we were just here. We had to figure out something to do. We had to figure out something that we could bring money into the house just to support our families and whatnot. And many of us, maybe we found out new hobbies, things like that. So maybe we're really finding out what we're interested in, and we want to follow that. So that for this time frame, that is really highlighted. And that Leo new moon was saying, hey, shine your light. The full moon is like, here we are, let's do it. And that was the last super moon of this year. So, you know, even here where I'm at, the tides are still high. They're still super high. So our earth is still feeling the pull of that super moon. Now, also, I said the sun will be going into Virgo on the 22nd. So happy birthday, all you Virgos out there. This sign to me is the conscientious sign. So Virgos are about they are about assembling knowledge. They like to gather up and turn it into something practical. Now, Virgo rules the nervous system and the intestines. So this is what we really need to watch out for with these other things, especially with Uranus going through Taurus. Make sure that you are de-stressing. Make sure that you are going out and connecting with earth, walking on the earth barefoot, laying on the ground, really allowing the earth's energy to heal you. And they do have earthing things out there that you can check out. But again, that science is out there. So you can go study that for yourself and see if that's a good thing for you. But I tell you what, our ancients knew earthing, grounding, and being close with the earth is very beneficial for our well-being. Virgos are very simple. Not simple, but they're very practical. They like practicality. Their planet is Mercury, and which is, Mercury is the planet to both Virgo and Gemini. Virgo is an earth element. It is mutable. So it's modest, it's practical, it's discriminating, it's analytical, it's painstakingly detail-oriented. It seeks to know and understand. It wants to know and understand things. Now, in its detriment, meaning when it's operating in just like it's a lower energy, it can have a tendency to interfere with things that they shouldn't. So this energy. We have to really be careful during Virgo that the slang now is stay in your lane, but we have to make sure that we are not interfering in those things that are not ours. Just this past week, I had to remind someone that this is your results. This is your consequences of your actions, not mine. So you are going to have to figure out how to fix that. That is not my karma, and I will not take on anybody else's karma. And this comes down to self-responsibility. This is one thing that we're having a big problem with, is self-responsibility. So when it's acting in its detriment, it has a very critical tongue, and they can seem very unemotional and cold. This energy also is connected to hypochondria and not seeing the forest for the trees. And this is why Uranus is so important right now, because he's that awakening. He's the one that's saying, come on, you got to see this. Come on. Nope, this ain't right. What you thought is wrong. You need to see the bigger picture. And it can be harsh sometimes, but if we're not willing to make those changes, then those changes get made for us and we're just dragged along the way. So also, the detriment is the ceaseless imperfecting. It's going over and over and trying to perfect something. And ceaseless in accomplishments. Trying to accomplish everything. And sometimes this can fall into being the martyr, but that's not really Virgo's thing. Virgo just wants to know the how and why. How and why. It's very much about organization, and Virgos like to bring that order to chaos. So you can see how this energy is very much needed at this time. So we'll see how it goes. Now the symbol for Virgo is a young woman gathering wheat, or it's like a harvest season. And when we are harvesting, we are gathering food up, right? And we're using it for practical use. This is our harvest time. We just had our first harvest festival at the beginning of August, which was Lunasa. We had that, and now our next one will be Mabon, and that's coming up shortly in September. So, yeah, we're halfway through August, and we are still feeling this whole kind of intense, kind of chaotic energy. Oh, first, before I forget, I want to tell you some famous Virgo people. So we had H.G. Wells was Virgo, Jesse James, Sean Connery, Raquel Welch, Sophia Loren, and Greta Garbo. Those were all Virgos. So Virgos, you share a birthday with those famous people. So when we go back to our new moon on the 28th, that brought a highly felt energy with it. It brought the dance between the opening, or the breaking through, and a closing. And this is like, it's going back and forth between, this is like a genius kind of energy, but it's going back and forth in between the genius and the not so genius. Saturn is repressive. So when we have Uranus that is wanting freedom and liberate, we have Saturn that says, oh no, that's not right. On the 21st, we had an exact square between Saturn in Aquarius and Uranus in Taurus. And this has happened. This has happened 3 times so far. The last time was on Christmas Eve, which was December the 23rd. So Saturn is going backwards right now, and he's going towards that square again. And this is bringing that energy back. So the energy from December 23rd of 21, it is bringing that energy back. And Mars with Uranus, this can be explosive energy, so we have to watch out for that. But it helps us move along as well. It helps us express things. And it does connect us more to words, like words that are said. That is connecting us to media. Saturn is needed. He really is, because Saturn is our father time. He tells us, he reminds us of boundaries. And boundaries, they are needed. They are needed indeed. So he also helps stabilize. Saturn is a very stable energy, so he's helping stabilize the changes that Uranus brings. These will bring breakthroughs and discoveries, but again, we may have a little pushback of going forward. and that needs to, we need to watch out for that. The nodes of the moon, again, these are very important as well. These are connected to our karma, and it's connected to our faith. And in this instance, the nodes, they act as vortexes, meaning they take the energy that they're experiencing and they shoot it out into either the present or the past. So, we have to really be careful about this energy that's going on. Be careful of what we are creating. We are co-creators, and we have to understand that. And for us to co-create in ways of our highest good, we have to make sure that we're seeing the whole picture, not just our little piece that we were given. Also, Mercury is in Virgo, and he's trying to help us understand and rationalize things. Mercury in Virgo is really trying to gain clarity with our thoughts. On the 18th, Venus will trine Jupiter. And this is really a good aspect. This is very much needed. They are the greater and the lesser here. This is a flow of energy of what I want, and I want more. So watch out for overindulgence. That can happen with when Venus is having that nice meeting with Jupiter. Excess can be there, so watch out for overindulgence. So by the 18th, the moon has joined the triple conjunction, so there could be some excitement, some breakthroughs could happen. But remember, we may experience a pullback from Saturn that says, okay, a little bit of the time. Saturn, the aspect that he's having here is saying that, sometimes steps are needed. Sometimes we can't go from point A to point Z just like that. We have to go through the alphabet to get there, because there is a such thing as divine timing. If you're not ready to receive something, then it is of no value to you. So we have to be ready. There's a lot of moon action here. And by the 19th, the sun will have a quincunx with Pluto. And this can be this is a harmonic meeting. This isn't really like a square or an opposition. This is harmonic, and it's having us to realize that it's making us see that there's no avoiding things. That, this is kind of like a wake-up call. It's like you have to see these. It may not be what you wanted exactly, but this is it. So, you have to be really careful about doing the co-creation, because you have to be specific. Yeah, you really need to be specific, but you also have to be level-headed and know where you're going. Mars, on the 20th, Mars will move into Gemini, and he starts feeling a bit scattered. Mars in Gemini, this is, if you've ever seen a wildfire and then you have the great winds that come down and hit it, it just goes everywhere. So this can be, it can have us feeling a little scattered in our minds and in our life. Maybe we're not sure which way to go. Gemini's air can put the flame out, so watch out for that. This energy is limited, and it does not have Gemini, with Mars and Gemini, it doesn't have that longevity that it needs. It's that poof energy, right? It's that spark of energy that that burns very, very bright, and then it goes away. It's not for the long haul. Mars can be, this energy is very reactive, so that's a good thing. Mars is a reactive sign, so that's really good in this placement. Now on the 21st, Mars in Virgo is going to oppose Neptune in Pisces. So this is going to connect us, Mercury and Virgo, please excuse me, Mercury and Virgo opposes Neptune and Pisces, and that's going to connect us with communication. So there's communication that might be misleading. Watch out for that. Do not stretch the truth. Just speak the truth. Don't embellish. This could be a time of misunderstandings. And we can get confused with what is the illusion and what is not the illusion. So this is, with Mars and Gemini feeling scattered, and then you have Mercury and Virgo opposing Neptune and Pisces. This can lead us to being confused. We could see some conflicting information coming out. Like one will say one and one will say the other, and we're pretty much seeing this now. If you look at all the news media, one will be saying one thing and one will be saying another. But there's things that are coming about, the unveiling, that is going to add on to that. So you have to really pay attention here, and that's why it's so good to know yourself, to know who you are, to know your values, to know your morals. And this is the stuff that it has been saying to us over and over and over this year. So now this will also square the moon in Gemini, which is a mutable sign. So it has us looking at how we can tell the difference. And that's really good. We need to be able to resolve this issue. So that energy is going to help us out. The moon moving into Cancer at 8:29 p.m. Eastern, it's going to ease that energy, and it's going to add that sweetness, that softening to it. There's too much violence that's happening right now, and we need to soothe that. There's a different way. There is a different way. By the 22nd, Mercury will trine Pluto. So this is a time, if you need to communicate something that you want to really get out there and really, speak your power, this is the day to do it. This is about communicating with power and integrity. Integrity is very important with these placements. And we're going to be able to, if we're nice and tuned in, we're going to be able to separate the truth from a lie, from the false. Sun will move into Virgo. So we are moving from midsummer energy into the autumn or fall energy. So focus on what we need to do and habits and such that look at our habits. How are our habits? Do we need to change them? We have to take something little, it's like taking something little and building something bigger out of it. That could be our ideas. That could be actual little things. We want to take them and build them better and to be practical. The things that we are doing, we need to work at being practical about it. We need to work at being efficient. Our time is very valuable, so let's take advantage of that. On the 24th, Uranus in Taurus will station, going direct at 18 degrees of Taurus. The North Node, the Mars and Mars and Uranus will be conjoined at that time. Now Venus will trine Chiron that day. So this is a really good, sweet energy as well. This is healing energy. This is a time to apologize. This is a time to forgive people. That is really good for that. If you need to reconcile, look to the 24th when Venus will trine Chiron. That'll be very sweet, sweet energy. On the 25th, Venus and the moon will meet up in Leo. That'll be beautiful energy there. So speaking our desires and sharing our creativity is really highlighted. Then Mercury moves into Libra, which is a Venetian sign. Libra, that is. So this is more sweet energy. This is more communicating nicely, pretty, a balance. Libra is about balancing in relationships. So this is really good for relationships that are having a hard time. It's good for communication at this time. And we'll talk more about that in next week's show. We are getting ready for our new moon in Virgo, which is, I don't have it right down here, but it will be next week. I think it's the 24th or 25th. I could be wrong. So Aquarius is about the collective, yes. But it is also about supporting the individualization. It is about, it's a part of your life that needs to be expressed in order to benefit humanity. And that energy is so important right now. It is so important with what's going on. So with Saturn, with the conjunction going on with Saturn, the Uranus North Node and Mars and Saturn, that connection there, we could be clearing out some old soul contracts. It could be a time of cutting that, outdated soul contracts. Maybe you're going to be ending old friendships, old relationships that have just kind of, you just kind of outgrown. There could be some people that you're friends with, you just kind of drifted apart. It's these kind of things. We do grow, and our belief systems are very important here, because we're looking at what is no longer in play in our life anymore. We're changing, and this is the shifting and fall. You know, these are harvest seasons. We're going through that as well. A harvest can mean different things. It doesn't mean just going out and picking the vegetables out of your garden. It means your life as well. So this could be the belief system connected to the divine, you know, what we were taught about religion versus what we are finding out and uncovering the truths that are coming out. Also, beliefs that we've held for a while that we never questioned. What beliefs did you not question? You just told, this is the way we do it, and this is how we're going to do it, and don't ask any questions. Yeah, this could be a new belief system coming to you. Also, this is connected to fear, so be very careful about fear this week. Remember, when you're in fear, you're not going to be able to make those good decisions for yourself that's going to be for your highest good. Go ground first. Go do some meditation. I know meditation is hard for a lot of people, but go sit outside and just be in nature. That will help you. So this is also connected to our belief in money. And, you know, it's a time to re-examine your belief system. What do you believe about money? Do you believe that, you know, there's this horrible belief that if you're spiritual, you have to be poor? Well, you need to learn where that comes from. Where does that come from? What does that mean? So August is revealing our weaknesses. It really will. And there's some pattern changes that we can expect. We're ready for more, and we're ready to break free from those things that hold us back, those things that limit us from what we are capable of doing. We are truly capable of doing a lot more than what we are doing. The division, the fighting over who's right and who's wrong, of my God is right and your God is wrong. These are things that are just really, is like, you really need to grow, because you think about that energy and how long that has been playing out. It's time for that to die. So We're going to break free from our old thoughts and the old programming that we had, and it's time to connect to a deeper connection. It's time to really connect to the divine and grow. So yeah, these energies are really helping us take that next step. But you have to look at your willingness to change. That is just it. You have to be willing, you have to be open, and you have to want to do it. And you have to understand that in order to do something, in order to make these changes, it's going to require you to get off your butt and make the stuff happen. Make it happen. You know, with all that's been happening in our world, I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty and maybe a lot of the unknown. And it's okay to not know. It's okay to not know. But it's not okay to continue the way that we're continuing. And we have to really allow this level of evolution to come to us, to make us rise and to do better. We should do better. We should be doing it. We are supposed to be the highest one on the totem pole, so to speak. So we need to do better. And that is it for the astrology. There's a lot going on. I could have went on and on. I did actually go longer than I wanted to go. And stay tuned for the reading. I'll be doing a tarot reading, combining these energies and seeing what messages our cards have to say. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back with that reading. Thank you.